everybody. Welcome. Oh, shit. Paused too long and it made me laugh. All right. 3, 2, 1. Fuck. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Commentary, son. Holy shit! I hear myself thinking.
One little action can really make a whole huge deal in the entire set.
The Unity Dittos are fucking stupid.
Happy feet, combo. That ain't
PC survives that attack. Both players are on their feet again to hit each other. Oh my god.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Directional Influence, episode 45, brought to you by VVV Gaming. I am your host, Rapture, and I'm here with the OG crew of DI once again, because Matt wasn't playing LOL tonight, so it's all good.
Hey, I was sick last week.
Yeah, sure you were. So that's Matt, who just talked, and of course we have the one and only Broccoli Kong, aka Will. How you doing?
Yo, what's good, everybody?
And then we have a very special guest on here tonight. One of the best Yoshi mains out there.
The best.
Nah, the best.
The best?
The best.
All right, we'll go with the best Yoshi main out there. And as far as I remember, he's not really that tall, but it's all good.
Hey.
My twin.
Oh, yeah, my twin.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, there was a point in time where they had the same exact haircut, and they looked like the same.
I actually climbed into your car one time.
Yes, I remember that. I was none the wiser.
Wow.
I could have gone back to Long Island.
You should have.
Yeah.
No, I had to be home. I couldn't.
All right, so yeah, we have Delta-Cod on. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Good. So, of course, everybody, this week or weekend was KTAR 6, the finale, and what a tournament it was, for better or for worse. There's a lot to be said about it, including how...
Dude, for better. It was all for better.
It was amazing.
Well, at least for me, it was 95% for better, 5% fuck New Jersey.
Okay, the tournament itself.
No, I'm talking about the experience of the weekend, but the tournament itself was amazing. Definitely, they ran really well. So we're gonna get into that.
Actually, I've heard a lot about like no one wanting to come back to New Jersey. I don't know what that was about.
I think it was a lot of people that haven't actually traveled to New Jersey before.
Oh, okay, yeah, it can be pretty gay.
It's definitely the people who have never been on the New Jersey roadways.
I started driving recently, and I had a pretty bad time getting here.
So we'll talk about that, and of course we'll be interviewing Delta-Cod himself, who will be joining us for the most of the episode. We'll be talking to him specifically about him and Yoshi later, but I want to get right into KTAR, which was epic. All three of us went. Matt did not because he is a loser, and he's like, yo, let me play LOL. And
yo, it's a good investment. It's a good investment, though. Have you seen LOL got picked up at MLG, and there's going to be like $5 million payout?
Yeah, there's a $5 million payout, season 2, but that was not why I did not go to KTAR.
Once they get that MLG prize money, not going to KTAR, drop and brawl.
Get the sponsorships.
Yeah, that sponsorship. MLG PD, what's good? Anyway, so I guess our adventure started out, at least for me and Will. I don't know when it did for you, Delta, but it started out Friday night when we adventured to the hotel, which was populated by 4 rooms of people, including Florida, us, and New York, New Jersey people.
Yo, shout outs to Florida being mad territorial.
Oh my god, yo, that room was theirs.
They were kicking people out left and right. Like, I got there, I was like, yes, I'm here, I'm going to play some friendlies. I ended up having to go pick up Dr. G. Shout-outs to Dr. G. Told me the wrong name of the train station, so I actually drove around for a good 45 minutes. Came back. All right, everybody, last matches. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I didn't get to actually practice with my teammate. I was salty.
Yeah, and then we were able to sit in the other room, which was rather fun. We had, TKO in there, Easy was in there, and then
we had Neo in there, we had Lai, we had Junebug, we had all of basically MDVA in our room.
Yeah, EE was there, Noid was there, Zant was there. Shoutouts to that My Little Pony blanket. And then somebody was
my
sleeping.
My whole carpool was there. It was me, Dark Peach, Dill, Devin, Who else? Dr. G was in there still with us. Man, it was crazy.
Yeah, my carpool was myself, Vinny, DeBuzz,
Oh yeah, Tony T.
Tony T. Shouts to Tony T. Teaming with Budget Player Cadet, all from Germany.
Shout outs to their trash talking each other and the results.
Yeah. Overall, the tournament was really fun though. It took place in a church in South River, New Jersey, which was very spacious but also very hot and had a lot of people in it. Other games ran like Street Fighter, Marvel, and Mortal Kombat on like 3 TVs, so didn't really see much of that. Though Marvel did get hype eventually at one point. But Brawl and Melee ran most of the time. Brawl obviously took up the most amount of sets. It was absolutely hype. There were upsets left and right. Speed defeating Sabrick 2-0.
Yo, with that hype, it was probably like impossible for Speed to lose.
It almost was. I mean,
I feel like the hype was getting, or like the crowd was getting to Sabrick. I don't think
really,
he was
really
himself,
got to
because
Sabrick
I don't.
because-
It definitely like he was. I have played him before, and he looked so like free at that moment. I don't know, like no. Like,
he was flustered.
No offense to Seabrick, but he looked really flustered. Like even
Florida
when he got
does
up.
the same thing to everybody else, yo. At MLG Orlando, the crowd was so loud. I remember HR Nut versus Shadow. Like Shadow couldn't deal with it. It was so ridiculous. That's pretty much how it was. Like Seabrick was choking in a way that he'd never really choked before. It was a little.
And Speed was putting in that work. I mean, so much to the point that when Speed would miss attacks, everybody would get hyped anyway. Like, or he would get a pivot grab, and it would be like, oh my god,
that pivot grab.
and it was so hype because like he was doing those like spin dash cancels and shit, and it just sounded cool. So like I was hyped, and he made Sonic look really viable, but he's really not, unless you're apparently Speed or like X.
I feel like Sonic is pretty viable on the level if you're a really high level player, like
of course.
Like he's viable because he has like the options because he's fast movement.
He's fast as hell.
That's really important.
If you can handle a character like that, I mean, I saw Speed like racing across the stage and getting the perfect punish. I was like, I'm not doing that. Like fuck that. Like I'll play Sonic like jump in the air and down air and hopefully you get hit by it.
The main problem I have with Sonic is that like whenever I play Sonic at all, like I'll just do a bunch of inputs and like it'll be like 2 minutes in the match and I've just pressed buttons like a bajillion times and I feel like I should have taken like all 3 stocks with the amount of buttons I've pressed, but like I've really done like 35 damage and I'm like, what the
yeah, Sonic's weird.
I think it really goes to show like the reason that match was hype in itself. Shout outs to Speed for having like the most hype matches ever versus Meta Knights at MLG and now at KTAR, but there were so many people there. Like we all just crowded around that TV. We just made this match like so ridiculously hype. There was also 128 entrants in Brawl singles. So get at this dead game.
Yeah, right. Like it was hype. People was coming in like crazy. Tons of representation from across the East Coast: Florida, MDVA, New England, New York, New Jersey, Germany. Is apparently part of East Coast. Of course, Ally, just bringing all of Canada's goodness down.
Yo, I would like to also mention that I met Zoo for the first time. Zookeeper.
Yeah.
The top Melee Falco. He actually came up to me and recognized me because, like, I told him in a stream once, I'd be like, yo, I'm the ginger wearing the DK tie. You can't miss me. And he came up to me. He was like, hey, Will, we're at the same tournament for, like, the only time ever. Probably, and he was like, yo, what's up? And I just saw him like going even, like I didn't know it was him at first, and then I saw him going even with Mewtwo King and Melee in friendlies. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. And like, I don't know, it was really cool.
It was really hype. I mean, the entire event was really done really well. Keitaro, DM were all over that. Commentary was run by myself, Doom, EE, TKO, Apostle, Logic. So we had a very hype commentary crew running that, and I was very happy about that. Though at some points because I had very little sleep and not much food, I was at some points like falling asleep, and it was really bad. And I'd be like getting those points where like I just wouldn't say anything because I'm like dozing off. I'm like, yo, Will, give me $1 or so for food, and you're like,
yo, shout outs to everybody in my hotel room and my carpool not giving me a bed, even though I was the driver both nights that we stayed at the hotel.
Dr. Grandpa honestly fell asleep next to me. And I had no idea. If like real talk, if you gotta sleep in a bed with someone, Dr. Grandpa is the go-to guy if you need a bed buddy, because he minds his own business. I didn't even know. He didn't say a word. He would just like I mean, then again, that's sort of like dangerous. I didn't know he could like sneak up on me and pull some shit. Like he could do something, but I mean, he really made that like awesome. And then had some great conversations with Noid, who is a really cool dude. And put in some work with Samus EE, of course. And then the other, like, our room was like split up. Like, Will fell asleep on the ground in front of us, which is sort of funny because like Will's always like prepared with like his pajama pants and shit. Like, he's all ready to go. Like, he's that like that sleep pro. Like, he knows what's good. And then like
he's on the varsity sleep team.
He is like he's always ready to go with that like sleeping bag pillow combo. And everybody's else is like scrounging around for like somewhere to sleep. And then like we had the guys from New York City on the other side of the room, while me and Verm were playing like Metroid Prime Hunters, which was really hype. Also, shoutouts to whoever was training with me and Verm in the fitness room. I don't remember who you are, but you were really chill, so hit me up. Also, which was really fun, was the second night after KTAR, which I really need to get into because fuck New Jersey and its roadway systems. And,
oh man!
Like, all right, this is what happened. I've told a number of people about this, but
all right, let's try to condense the story because I know this could probably go on for an hour.
It could go on for an hour. Pretty much what happened was, as the event was ending, a number of carpools wanted to go to IHOP, and in fact, the New England carpool went. And as we showed up to this IHOP, my carpool showed up, and then Alex Stripe's carpool showed up. And then Chibo's carpool showed up as we were leaving. But what happened was that we were in Vinny's car and Vinny was driving, but we didn't have any GPS, so we followed D1, who was with Alex Strife and all them, to IHOP, but they weren't going back to the hotel. So we figured we could just make it back to IHOP on our own. The IHOP was relatively close to the hotel, as it was pretty close to the venue. But all of our phones were dead, like all of ours.
Oh.
We had no, like, I mean, not physically dead. There was like so much little battery power, and Vinny doesn't have a GPS in his car. So immediately after leaving IHOP, apparently I made the wrong turn, like 3 times. Okay, because I was now driving because Vinny didn't want to drive; he was tired, and we ended up in like bumblefuck New Jersey. A half hour later, just driving. It made worse because number one, the signs in New Jersey don't tell you any information. They're like, hey, welcome to New Jersey.
They really suck.
They really do.
As someone who also doesn't have a GPS, it fucks with me so hard.
Like every sign just says whatever highway you can get onto. It doesn't tell you the exit or what exit it's telling you to like. It's like, hey, welcome to the New Jersey State Parkway. Like that doesn't help me.
Like, you can get to Route 17 from here. Well, when?
And then the road we were on had like a cement barricade between the 2 lanes, so you couldn't make a U-turn if you really needed to, like I did. And we just kept driving and driving and driving. At one point, I'm like, all right, I really need to get on the other side of this road so I can make an exit. So in New York, as I thought in every state this would work, if you make a loop exit onto the highway that goes across you on top of you on a bridge, if you do the same thing on the other side, you would in theory make it to the other side of the lane. That's how most highways would work. Not in New Jersey apparently. If you make a loop exit onto the bridge above you, it sends you like to the other side of the state. So when you get back off, you're on an entire different parkway. And I just kept driving. I'm like, wow. At first I felt great. I was like, all right, we're going in the right direction now. We're on the right road. We're good. Nope. We're in Newark Airport. Just randomly. We ended up in Newark Airport. I have no idea how we ended up in Newark Airport, but I had to pee, and I really needed to pull over. And
when did the blinding torrential downpour start for you guys?
It started at like. For me, I left the venue at about midnight, and the second I got in my car, blinding torrential downpour.
I mean,
I was driving for like 2.5 hours home, and it was awful.
I mean, we left at like 1, and it got bad, and then when we were leaving IHOP, it got worse, and then when I was really lost, it got even worse.
Yeah,
it was great. I can't see shit. And I mean,
you should probably teach Vinny how to defrost his windshield, or like to defog it.
Couldn't figure out what the defog was, and I'm like, I was wiping it. I'm like, yo, I cannot see.
Yo, you gotta change the knob to the vent.
Dude,
the vent option, and then just put it up on blast.
I'm telling you, it wasn't. His car is like not made for driving. It's made for and came to the point where we ended up in Newark Airport. I crossed over a barricade. Like,
also, Vinny, you shouldn't have bought Beats by Dr. Dre. You should have bought a cell phone car charger and a GPS.
Yes. Oh my god. Easy pass. Because we hit tolls. Like
Oh yes. If you get lost in New Jersey, the tolls
like,
will
those
destroy you.
Like, oh cool, tolls. Because we were towing ahead towards New York City, and Mewtwo King's like, "Are we going to New York?" I'm like, "Shut up, Mewtwo King. We're not going to New York." Like, I'm not paying tolls, and it was really bad. So finally, for us to get back, we figured out that as long as we get to somewhere in Somerset, we'd have enough power combined on our phones to use the GPS functions to get back to the hotel. Malcolm, first of all, Malcolm, if we didn't have Malcolm, we probably wouldn't be here. I'd be dead. Like, right? Malcolm was clutch. Malcolm had that clutch cell phone, like, janky ass GPS that he bought. That, like, it didn't even tell you, it didn't allow you to put in an exact address. It allowed you to put in the city. So it took you to, like, a random place in the city. I'm like, all right, as long as we can get the good direction. Then he had that iPad with him that got us, like, Google Maps for a little bit. We finally somehow got back to Somerset, New Jersey, where the hotel was. And the only reason I remembered where we were is because of you, Will. Like, if you didn't do what you did, like, saved my life, because when you got to IHOP, you said something about a White Castle, and we drove by it, and I was really hyped, like, oh shit, I know where we are. So oh my god, thank God that he, like, ditched us at IHOP.
You're welcome for making relevant comments at all times.
Exactly. Like, if I didn't see that IHOP, that White Castle, I'd still be driving to New Jersey right now.
Yeah.
Finally
getting destroyed by tolls.
Exactly.
I spent like $20 in tolls getting to KTAR because I got lost.
So terrible.
It was so bad.
Finally, we made it to Somerset. We had enough power on our batteries for GPS. So now we're like, all right, now we know where we're going. And by the way, my Android, like, mad clutch with that, like, no battery power, like, working functionality, mad hype. But Vinny's car starts to run out of gas, like, really, like, low, like, low. Like, the low fuel, like, thing, like, light is on.
The light went on.
Right, yeah. I would like to point out that Vinny's carpool just seemed very unprepared.
It was totally unprepared.
I think it's the first time, to be fair, that I think it's the first time Vinny has actually driven people to a tournament. So
Vinny, it wasn't like any of us were at fault. It was just like we weren't prepared for New Jersey driving.
And that weather was also really random.
Yeah, and especially if it's your first time and you are taking people without a GPS, it's extremely hard.
Yeah, so
I've had problems getting people every time I've taken them, but the way back is always easier because I remember where I go.
Yeah, so we finally got there. We ended up at a gas station, figuring out, oh, you can't pump your own gas in New Jersey. Hype. We finally got back to the hotel.
Definitely told you that before.
Definitely forgot.
Many times.
Definitely forgot.
That's so frustrating because on my way home I needed gas and the gas stations were abandoned and my light was on and I was scared I wasn't gonna find an inhabited gas station. Got so lucky that I found one. I was so happy.
The worst part, though, is that, like, you get to the hotel, and we ended up making our way into the Florida room, and I, like, fell asleep, like, in the corner of the room in a ball. We leave early from the venue, and we're now prepared with the fact, and we're now like, okay, and this is me, Vinny, and DeBuzz, because Malcolm didn't go with us back to New York, obviously. We're like, oh, we still have no gas. We drive towards a gas station. Well, first of all, we asked the hotel lady, like, who's hot, by the way. Like, I totally hit that.
Yeah, she was cute.
And, like, all right, well, way to ruin, like, my hot comment. She's like,
I mean, she was way older than you. There's no way.
I don't care. Like, whatever. Anyway, she's like, yeah, just make a left out of the parking lot, and then, like, after 3 lights, make a right, and there's a gas station right there. So we do that, and there's no gas station. Like, wow. Like, what a bitch. Like, what a bitch. And then we finally find a gas station, and Vinny goes on the highway randomly. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. And we miss him. So we finally find a gas station in Rutgers. Like, we end up in Rutgers. We find the gas station, and then we once again forget that you can't pump your own gas. And the gas station is closed. I'm like, well, if it's closed, then maybe we'll be able to pump our own gas. But it wasn't true the night before, and so Vinny, like, calls 911, like, yo, what do? We have no gas. and the lady or whoever she talked to was like, oh, there's one, like, down the road, and I finally pointed it out. We got there, we got our gas, mad hyped, and then we drove home, and we were so tired that when we walked into Nathan's, like, around the block at Vinny's, that it looked like we were, like, beat up, like, my hair was matted down. And all my clothes were wrinkly because I didn't have a chance to shower, and oh my god, I was so exhausted. And it was honestly, I mean, it was worth it going to KTAR, but oh my god, I'm so glad I'm not, like, dead. I could have died on the streets of New Jersey, and no one.
All right. So next time, do you have a GPS in your car?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next time, I'm not sure if there is going to be a next time that you're driving from New York since you're moving back, but it probably would have been better if you drove. Just saying.
Yeah, because I also have an easy pass. But the tournament itself,
Oh my god.
yeah, right. Like I had
The toll lines on the way back were so bad. I was sitting there for like 20 minutes
I had
waiting.
all the essentials and like nope, Vinny's car. But either way, it was a really hype tournament, and at the very least, the tournament itself, outside of the traveling part, was really awesome because there were so many upsets. A Junebug versus Mewtwo King.
That was so hype.
About that. That was absolutely.
That was easily the most hype set of the tournament. Like that, there were two levels. There was Speed versus Seabrook, and then there was June versus Mewtwo King. And I didn't
Was
even
that
find out
on-
about the set.
Was that
Until
even
game
on a
3.
setup that like had recording going on?
No,
Like,
it
did it
was-
have replays?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think it was.
Oh,
Set up.
I'm so mad. I'm lucky that I caught the end of it. Standing on a
didn't even
chair
touch the
looking
set
through like
until-
mad people's heads.
I got over there. I was just walking around when the hype just first started, and they were starting Game 3 on Frigate, and I was like, we saw June in the lead, and people were getting really hyped, and they were like, oh, and I was like, wait, what game is this? And someone was like, Game 3. I was like, oh my god, no way, because like June was so calm, and I thought it was kind of a mistake, as I think it always is a mistake, to not ban Frigate versus Lucario, because I know that they love that stage. I feel like FD makes them very linear, but on Frigate, when they get on that second transformation and they camp that little nook with
That
those
little
mini
nook,
blasts.
you will never get Lucario in that nook.
Nook.
So he was just so safe. He was so content, and like he was like, yo, I'm a plank, but like the one time I get off the edge, I'm gonna get hit with one of these little blue balls, and he's like, damn it.
Like it was to the point where there were so many people watching and like crowding around that the people that couldn't see were asking for commentary from the people that could see.
Yeah, I
And
was
people
being
giving
asked for
those
updates. I was
updates.
being asked for percentages. Like, that's how hype it was. People
Yeah.
wanted to know the exact percent people were at.
Thankfully, I'm like taller than most people, so I was able to like barely
Oh.
inch my head up, and I was like, all right, I can see like 3/4 of the screen hype.
I was so
And-
short. I could barely see percentages in like the bottom half of the screen. It was
I mean, I actually couldn't even see percentages, but I didn't care. I was just watching, like hoping for the best, and it was absolutely, it was intense as hell. And
There
then
was
he
a
finally
point,
won.
if I can remember, I don't even know if any of this was recorded, but things that I can remember specifically, they were both at like last stock. June was in a really tight spot. He got like hit off stage somehow.
he had like no double jump, and he was
he was making incredible recoveries. Like I don't know how he was getting back to the edge, but like
he ate that down smash like a champ. Like he just extreme speeded over the stage just so he could get over the stage and away from off stage. He ate that punish just so he could get a better recovery chance, and it worked. I was worried he was gonna lose it there. It was really. I thought
there
he
was
I thought he
another
was done.
point where he got caught in the air. I don't know if it was during a jump, but he got shuttle looped, and then he got shuttle looped again. Shout outs to Stale Shuttle Loop, because I think that might have been the only reason that he survived. And
Oh
he somehow made it
yeah,
back with
all
that
the way
double
off the
shuttle.
ledge. Everyone thought he was dead. I thought he
I was like, no, he's so far off stage versus Meta Knight, it's over. But then he came back, and just a couple of hits from Lucario over 100, and it's even. And that one blast, I think he was catching him out of like shuttle loop with the blast, and that might have been.
It was Frigate. M2K was planking the ledge, and Frigate started to flip, and so he got off because it was flipping, and he started a glide. I don't know if that was a technical error or if he intended to glide somewhere, but he started a glide, and Junebug hit him out of like the glide startup with the Aura Sphere, and that's how he won.
Man, that was so
Yeah,
it was so incredible, that hype. I'm pretty sure we were all chanting Junebug's name for a good like several minutes after that set. We were I had no voice after that. I was screaming.
It was absolutely amazing.
Junebug and I are mortal enemies, and even I was hyped. I was chanting.
It was really crazy, and to be fair, it was sort of unhyped for everybody else, especially people on stream. And like I remember people being like, because I don't believe I was commentating at that point, because I just like happened to walk over and see. No, I was. I think I was. It was between matches. I was like, oh wait, this is really hype, and I sort of like jumped off.
This is why I think that, and I'm kind of like a victim of this too, that Like when people, I think there should be more people going around trying to, or at least someone looking at the bracket trying to look for really interesting matchups and
I
not
feel
always
like-
just the same stuff.
That's actually, I've been thinking about that too. I was talking to people about it, but go on.
I agree, because that was one of the problems we had, is that we kept seeing Anti and Nairo, and kept seeing that.
I feel like really good players, and it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be educational to watch them face off against each other. But there are also those, like those revenge matches or those like really awesome like matchups that you don't get to see very often. That
like Will versus Delta-Cod on stream.
Like that was the thing too. I kept asking them, like, get Will on here. Like people want to see the DK.
I didn't play on the live stream at all, mostly because like the bracket was going very slow, and there was like a line of like 3 to 4 different sets waiting on the live stream, and I was like, well, I don't want to sit there and wait when I could be playing friendlies. Like,
yeah, it was bad because if there was a set going, people wouldn't wait to get on the stream. So when Mewtwo King Junebug came up, I was questioning, like, why didn't this set wait so we could see it on the stream? But
that set might be lost to the abyss. I don't even think it had replays.
That's just another thing that separates good TOs from great TOs.
I think Keitaro is a great TO. I just don't think like all around, no TOs really do that. Like you don't really see.
No, I know. I think that.
I think there needs to be a separate person that's like looking at the bracket, that's like helping either run or just someone like out of their own interest being like, yo,
like the designated hype man.
Set. Because everybody's gonna want to see this, and like it's gonna be really entertaining,
Trust me, there's so many times I was like, can we please have somebody go out there and get a good set? I don't want to watch Nairo play again. I love Nairo to death, but the amount of times I've seen Nairo play is unnecessary in one tournament. Like I know, all right, Nairo's gonna play, Wario Master 50, aka Malcolm, but like he's gonna play somebody like Malcolm. Shouts! Oh, by the way, Malcolm played like a bro. Like he could play better, but I mean, Malcolm played really good.
Yo, one of the most entertaining things that I saw Malcolm do when he was playing versus Pika Pika, and it was last stock, and he was up like a good 100% versus Pika Pika. He had 1 stock 0. Pika Pika had like 100, and Pika Pika was coming back, and he had like this really cool comeback, and the percents got to around even, and then Pikachu thought that it would be a good idea to fair, because like usually his fastball fair leads into like some setups,
right?
But Malcolm decided otherwise, because he, out of the first maybe 1 or 2 hits of fair, he smashed DI'd under Pikachu and up aired him off the top.
Oh man,
it was so crazy.
That's amazing.
Malcolm
it was like really really fast, and I was like, oh my god, that was so cool.
There was a number of times where he'd be just timing things so perfectly that he would like time down smash, and when he would land, he could immediately forward smash. I know that's like a down air, right?
Yeah, he timed the last hit of down air and it comboed into forward smash, and I was like, what?
Oh yeah, or he would like read those, like he'd just chomp people like out of nowhere, just like over and over. I'm like, yo, like how do you know? Like first of all, Malcolm is one of those people that just knows. Other people like that include Vinny, who just knows, or Fatal, who like just knows. Like Vinny versus Junebug, he just knew what Junebug was gonna do out of down throw. He knew. Like he landed forward smash out of down throw like 3 times. It was absurd. Vinny was. There were a lot of people at KTAR who like were making those future sight reads. Like there were a lot of people who were on their like A game. Like they were on their A game that tournament. It was absolutely amazing to watch. So I feel bad for people that weren't there and watched on the stream and not feel that hype.
They missed all the hype matches that never end up on stream.
Yeah.
So many hype matches never end up on stream. It's so sad.
It really is.
And they also end up on setups that don't have infinite replays.
Yeah,
which they don't even get recorded.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, overall the experience was absolutely amazing. Got to meet so many people, and most of all, got to witness the power of New Jersey roadways and how they can screw with you mentally. And also, shout-outs to the guy who worked at IHOP that wanted us to leave immediately, because it's a 24-hour IHOP, and this guy, we got our menus, and then, like, a minute later, he's like, oh, okay, so when I get you guys out of here, what do you guys want to eat? And I'm like, I haven't even read, like, the title of this. D1, like, trolled the guy by asking for refills for, like, everything. He's like, yo, can I get, like, whipped cream refills on my hot dog? Like, is that even possible? And then, we haven't DeBuzz with that like no DeBuzz was like taking notes on something like writing, and me and Malcolm and D1 were like having DI talks by talking about E3 and stuff. It was a lot of fun, and then that's when all hell sort of broke loose. But IHOP was definitely hype, and of course thanks to Keitaro for making that awesome hotel situation available to us.
Yo, that hotel was very chill. Like, they didn't even question us once. We just kind of walked through the lobby every time, and they were just like, hi. Like, not like it's sketchy that we're bringing up like TVs and pillows and sleeping bags.
Yeah, right?
Like 30, 40 people just walking past. Like, they were really chill. Like, I would definitely stay there again.
I would too. I may like, just go out there and contribute to their profits. Like, let me just stay there for a night. Even though it was very funny watching Verm work out in the fitness area because it was not a very developed like workout area. Like the highest like dumbbells they had were like 60 pounds, and he was just like
60-pound dumbbells. God.
Yeah, right.
That's a lot for a dumbbell.
Not for Verm.
Not for Verm.
Well, Verm's got that Triforce of power. He doesn't.
Verm was like, I need like 200. and then like I was running on the treadmill and Verm was on one of these bikes, and he's so large that like his knees were like hitting the handles, and it was really funny. Also, he tried to bench press me in the venue, and then I was like, yeah, but if you do that, you'll like touch my ass. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So I'm like, okay, cool. But overall, it was really, really fun. Anything else, guys? Oh, Matt, like how is it not going? How was that experience?
I don't know. I gotta say, I was pretty hyped, even just seeing the results. Like,
did you even watch the stream?
No, I didn't watch this.
Wow.
You didn't stream Monster?
Wow.
I did not stream.
What did you?
I am disappointed.
Wow, I'm a little disappointed that like even though you wanted to go, you wouldn't even watch the tournament. Like, wow.
Well, I don't think I was home actually.
Really.
On Saturday.
What were you doing?
I don't know.
I am disappointed.
Son,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what.
My twin, how could you do that? So sad.
But just looking at the results and like seeing on Facebook, like everybody's status was like, "Oh my God, Junebug beat M2K!" Like that was hype. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I was like, saw it in person though. But
I would imagine, yeah.
Shout outs to Florida because they've definitely come and traveled to Atlantic North multiple times now. Like for VC9, I know they came up. They've come up for a bunch of stuff. So I think I need to go with Vinny sometime pretty soon to pay them back a visit because I'm actually pretty close with a lot of the Florida people because they're mad chill. And I still need to play MVD because he's talking mad trash. We were supposed to money match. So I need to play him. He's like, yo, I outplaced you. I'll be like, I know your snake is godlike and everything, but you haven't played me yet. So. But
his hair smells nice.
Oh my God, MVD's hair smells so good.
I kept reading about that and I was sort of confused.
Like I don't know, like
you and you can't.
He walked by me and I was like, wow. Like, what is that? Like, what does he do?
That fascinating aroma?
Like, what? Like, oh my God! It was like I couldn't even like explain the smell to you. It's just like you'd have to like bask in it.
Yeah,
and
I think there's some sort of like ritual that goes on. There's a ritual that goes on. That's why Florida was so territorial. Like they didn't want us to see like what goes down with like the MVD hair ritual.
They didn't want us to see the sacrifice.
They had to sacrifice a pot monster to keep to make sure his hair smells nice. Also, shoutouts to whoever was snoring like a boss in the Florida room Saturday night, because when we walked in, Muta King was like slamming doors everywhere, and this guy wouldn't wake up, and he was snoring so loud that when we left the room and walked down the hallway, we could like still hear him snoring. I don't know who it was, but somebody from Florida has like those godly snore powers. Shoutouts to whoever that was.
Yo, shoutouts to D-Fear. I teamed with him. I would be up for doing it again, but we definitely need to practice, and we have to like give it another shot. Yo, we came up with some crazy combos thanks to GDX. Like,
oh, I heard it, and then you used it on him.
We actually used it on him, and it was really cool. I would love to team with a Diddy just to do this again. Like, if I get a grab, I could cargo down throw at Diddy while he's facing the other direction, catch them as they go past him, then he does his down throw, which like kind of pounces them on the ground into a perfect angle that I could running up smash. Like, it's all happens really fast, and it's actually really cool. And we did it to GDX, and he died. He said he was salty and proud at the same time because he taught us that combo.
Speaking of Diddy and Donkey Kong, J-Tails and Easy had an amazing set in that matchup. And it was really hype and close, and the amount of like momentum shifts that I saw go on were ridiculous.
Wow,
And
I didn't know.
I hope it got recorded, but I don't think it did, sadly. I happened to catch it as I was walking by, because there was a small crowd gathered. I think it was just a friendly set too, but it was pretty hype.
Also, shoutouts to Dill for almost taking out Junebug during the Seabird versus Speed match.
He had the momentum the entire time. Like during the time everyone was concentrating on Speed versus Seabird, he just like has the momentum the whole set, keeping Junebug on his toes. That was a really good set.
Like him and his brother have been putting in work. And I've just see them go to tournaments, and they he beat like Hadaj at LIRR, and like he just like almost like taking names. I'm like, all right, like that's definitely good. Like I don't like Rob. Like I think Rob's ugly.
Yeah, Rob's. I don't know.
I hate Rob.
Like I used Rob in Mario Kart DS, but like not much like brawl hype for Rob, to be honest. But shout out to him though, really putting a lot of work, and then anyone else who sort of made those results theirs. Yeah. Except me,
there were really a lot of upsets. Like I'm trying to think of some other upsets. I know I watched D-Fear versus K-Sizzle. D-Fear got a really good win on K-Sizzle. K-Sizzle has been known to be weak versus Diddy, but it was still like a freaking retardedly close set. It was last hit, game 3. Like K-Sizzle DI'd this forward smash from Diddy on PS1. I don't know if you know about the blast zones on PS1, but they're kind of ass, and like they kind of just don't exist. And K-Sizzle was like, nah, I'm going to jump like 3 times and DI with up air and like survive at this percent somehow. But I don't know, it was really, really close. And D-Fear kind of getting he's pretty unknown because he's not, I don't know how active he is, but he's definitely like somewhere near the top in Diddy's. Like, also shout outs to DJ Jack, mad cool guy. I actually hadn't met him before. He's also from Florida. He's really cool. I didn't play as Falco though, but
either way, it was a really hype tournament, and I am very saddened that New Jersey almost ruined it for me, but overall, it was a really hype, and I'm very glad that I made the trip out, and I will be, speaking of which, never driving to New Jersey ever again, or driving in there.
Whoa.
Apex.
Oh, well, you're probably going to drive me, so it's okay.
Speaking of, like, driving people back to the train station, there was, like, that little glimpse.
I never said train station.
There was a little glimpse of Apex hype, because I drove past Rutgers, and I was like, oh my God, I wish
Rutgers
it was
looking
Apex
for gas. Like, I felt that Apex hype.
You were in Rutgers University for gas.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that Apex hype.
Right there, man.
I was right at, it was some...
Apex gas.
Apex gas was like, sort of failed on me because we had to call 911.
Everybody that came to KTAR 6, no excuse that you shouldn't be at Apex 2012, by the way.
Everybody should be at Apex. It's like, you can't...
Everybody that didn't come to this, that lives in New Jersey or in this North Atlantic region, this North of Atlantic region, you guys should have all been there. Like, I know some people had your reasons, but like, run away from home. I saw somebody say that.
Yep, do it. So next, we've had him on the show the entire night, but now we're actually going to get into what it means to be Delta-Cod and how he did at KTAR, so stay tuned.
All right, everybody, time to introduce our special guest, Delta-Cod. How you doing?
I'm good. Hi, everyone. I'm Delta-Cod. I'm the best Yoshi.
Oh, damn. All right, that call out. Poltergeist, where you at? I know a lot of Florida was at KTAR, and so did most of everybody else, and kind of probably going to put them on blast a little bit tonight.
They got outplaced by Yoshi again, like the good old days before Polt moved.
So actually, we have you here. I'm gonna cut in right now. Okay. But you placed like top 10.
I got 9th.
9th. That's top 10, everybody. Which is incredible for a Yoshi main. So I want to ask the first question here and just be like, yo, how did you do that? Real talk.
It's a lot of practice. I've put like 2 years offline into Yoshi, and I've been playing like Wi-Fi Warrior for like a year before I started tournaments, so I've been playing for a long time. And I guess the way that Yoshi plays, it just sort of clicks with the way I play. So the more I play, the more experience I get. And it's like the way Yoshi plays, it's sort of like countering the options. So since I've played for so long, I have experience with all these situations. So I know which option to pick, and it just outright beats out the opponent's option. And that's how I play Brawl. It's why I can't really play a lot of other characters because they don't really work the same way. But yeah. And so I basically have to do that. And it's hard with a lot of matchups, but I got lucky this time because I didn't run into any Meta Knights outside of Anti, who didn't even go Meta Knight on me.
Okay, can you explain to us, Delta, what is the 17th place curse?
Oh, okay.
Talk about that.
I had reached a period of time where at pretty much every event I attended, I got 17th. Like, it had gone on for like 3-4 months. I got 17th at every single event. And so another Smasher, Detour, he had come up with this the movie 17 again that had come out. And so he took the image poster for that and he edited it to say Delta-Cod is 17th again. And that became a running joke. And so now every time in tournament, it's my goal to dodge 17th place. Unfortunately, that gets me stuck at the other curse, which we call the Scats curse. Scats is a Georgia Yoshi who pretty much did most of the development on Dragonic Reverse. And he used to get 13th at everything he went to. So once I broke the 17th curse, I got that curse going. And so I just juggle between those two curses until I find, like, I either place one lower than them or I get 9th like I did today or Saturday at KTAR.
Well, I'm glad I could be a part of you breaking your 17th place curse.
Yeah.
That was it was a really fun set though. Although I will admit that I think you had a definite advantage because round 1 I did not expect it to be striked down to Lilat.
Yes.
And I know it's in your favor, and I was like, shit, how did this happen?
I think that the 7-stage starter list is really good for Yoshi because he's so flexible on so many stages that depending on who I'm playing against, I can manipulate it to get a better stage than, say, Smashville game 1 every time. It probably helped me out a lot versus you, and it helped me out a lot versus Malcolm, whom I got Castle Siege game 1 against too, instead of like Smashville.
Okay. I mean, I guess, you were able to take advantage of that a lot more. I honestly didn't think too much of the 7-stage strike list. Like, it didn't seem like it really affected too much for me because for the most part, I just started on Smash. Like, we agreed with Smashville for most people. But you were like, nah, let's strike. I was like, oh, yeah. I'm not ready.
I mean, depending on who I'm playing, I'll like agree Smashville because I know it's just gonna strike that way. But in most cases, I try to strike away from Smashville to a different stage because most people are caught off by that, and it's sort of like, and I'm okay with pretty much every stage in the game, so I really don't mind starting on not Smashville. I actually prefer not to for most matchups.
All right, tell us actually, who did you end up playing, like in winners and losers and everything? Because I didn't know who had sent you to losers in the first place.
Okay. In winners, I don't really remember who I played first, and I feel really bad about it.
Well, do you remember the character at least? Because I know there were a lot of new people, and the tags, even I'm a little fuzzy on the tags of the people that I played.
I mean, it was so far back in the day, and then I spent so much time on the loser wall, which is another story. I'll get to that later. But that like I forgot everything in winners almost. Who did I play first? It was some character that I don't think it was a really important set. I don't feel like I was strained too much during it, and so it wasn't really that memorable. I feel really bad about this, by the way, because whoever it was, it's gonna sound like I'm like blowing them up really bad. But like, to be honest,
at least you weren't like Dazwa. Apparently, in his melee set, he played somebody.
Oh yeah.
And after he got 2-0'd, they were like, wait, this wasn't a friendly or something.
Yeah, I heard.
Was that tournament?
that was awful. I read that on the results thread. It was funny. But yeah. And then second, I can never remember this tag right. It's like Super Mario SMMC or something. I can't remember the tag ever. He plays
Super Mario MC, yeah.
Yeah, Super Mario MC.
By the way, you played Tiger round 1.
Oh my God, Tiger! Shout out to
Oh my
Tiger
God.
for me forgetting. I can't believe
Oh
I
my
forgot.
god.
Oh, God.
Apparently,
Seagull-
you're not
Seagull, don't
important
kill
at
us.
all as a female smasher.
No.
You're not memorable in any way. So the
No.
fact
Oh,
that you were
don't even-
no, that's actually a compliment. Like the fact that she's a girl didn't like throw
Oh,
you
yeah.
off or like
Actually-
distract you to some immense degree.
Usually I have this curse at bigger events. Usually when I play a girl, something happens, and I don't like consciously like do it. Like I don't treat it as a girl or whatever. But I have a habit of going like 2-1 against girls. Like they're extremely close sets. Apex, I almost lost to Kiwi in pools, which would have decided if I made it past round 1 or not.
That's because you get a boner.
It's because Yoshi
Oh.
is cute.
Chill. I got Kirby sighted and I was scared. So
Yo,
bad.
Kirby Sign's the best. I have to say though, my only winners bracket game was against Speed, and game 2 I took him to Halberd, and I got the lead by Kirby siding him and then him breaking out and footstooling him, and oh my god, the amount of hype that was in my body made me lose the game. And it was really awesome.
Should have timed him out after.
Dude,
that.
I don't know how to time people
Time
out. Well,
him.
it was 5
Oh.
minutes left, and I had like
You just got to get that patience going.
Oh my
Learn
God.
from Delta-Cod.
If I had
Yeah.
beaten
or learn
Speed-
from Will. Will will just plank with
Oh my-
Donkey Kong, and that's more. I don't even know how you do that. I get so.
like if I had beaten Speed, I would have just been like, all right, well, I'm dipping, like I'll forfeit. I don't care. I want to go out on a good note. But he was like, or body me or whatever. I mean, he really like he pretty much destroyed me. It was sad, but
Okay,
I mean,
saw-
what?
I saw a bunch of posts about this losers wall.
Yeah, I
thing.
want to hear about
Oh,
this.
okay,
What is
okay.
that?
So pretty much after I lost in round 4 winners, I went outside to clear my head because I had a feeling that if I were to lose in losers, and I have a habit of whenever I do well in winners, I usually go like I don't do anything in losers. So I went outside because it was cooler out there, like it was mad hot in the venue, and to like clear my head. And so I was just sitting outside of the door under the awning, and like against the wall, and I was trying to clear my head, and like Malcolm came out, Bleachigo came out, and like all 3 of us, we had just lost. We were all just like sent to losers, and so we were just sitting there like in our little like circle of self-pity and like talking about our losses, and we're like, oh man, it was the greatest thing ever. We were there for like an hour, or it felt like an hour, just talking. It was so great.
Wow. I mean, I guess there's something inspirational that can be said about being depressed and talking about. I mean, if you were talking about your mistakes and like things you could have done better, I mean that's helpful. I guess.
we were talking. It was a bunch of stuff. It wasn't only about that, but about like the matches. We were also just talking, but it started off with all of us talking about our losses and stuff, and how one thing that came up a lot was when people like they come up to you after you lose, and they're like, oh man, good job, it was a close set, and like how the 3 of us, we didn't really feel like, we don't really like that much because you still lost, you like sort of feel shitty about your loss. And so like that was one thing that we talked about, and the rest of it was just stuff about the matches and like how if they were close or not. But yeah, eventually everyone started getting called back in for matches, and I was just sitting out there alone because I saw my bracket and I knew I was either gonna have to play Chibo next or whoever got there, and you showed up. And so regardless of my chances of winning against both of you, I would have much rather played you than Chibo. No offense, Chibo. I just really enjoy my sets with Will. I love playing the Donkey Kong matchup as much as I hate the character. It gets me so hyped. And
I realized that because I saw you sitting behind me, and then when like your comments after like in between the round that I lost were actually extremely helpful because like
yeah. Well, and
something-
I also originally wasn't going to like give you those comments, but I saw Chibo getting a lot of advice on the side, and so
yeah, he
I
was kinda
figured.
getting poached.
Yeah, so I figured that I would tell you because I noticed, I was like, this isn't Will playing. Will doesn't have these shitty habits. He's a better player than this. What the hell is he doing? Spacing back airs with Donkey Kong's knee, rolling 3 times in a row. What the fuck?
Also,
was so-
shoutouts to Will for like being the most excited person in the venue after beating Cheeto, like jumping 3 feet in the air.
Oh my god.
Like, that was the best.
Literally, you have to understand that. Like I was up like a stock game 1. I was gonna win. I had the momentum, whatever. All of a sudden, like I get this retarded weak gyro stage spike kill at like 60, and then Chico just like bodies me on the rest of my last stock game 1. And game 2, he still has like all the momentum, and I'm just like the whole set, it's all Chibo.
Yeah,
even,
it really did look like you were struggling to keep it going. Like,
yeah, he was just so hyped, and he wasn't attempting to like get back. He was just flying under the stage. He was gonna avoid getting edge guarded.
Yeah, it felt to me like he was like in control, like he was in his groove, and you seemed really off that set. And I mean, you brought it back. It was
like,
good.
I don't know how, but like at the end, you guys just have to see the set. Like what happened was like one of the most hyped things.
Oh
ever.
my god, that tech.
Yeah, that was pretty hype.
The most clutch tech ever.
I don't know. It was really awesome. The only time I've been more excited than that is when I beat Inui at MLG when I was down by like 140% last stock each. He was at 1 stock 0 on Rainbow Cruise, and I just like grabbed the edge and he whiffed the shuttle and died at 0. And like I threw my DK plushie all the way into like the roof of that tall ass MLG venue, and I like flipped out. But
well, let's go back to Yoshi for one quick second here. And to sort of wrap this up a little bit, I mean, you're sort of one of the few people leading the Yoshi metagame here. Where do you see Yoshi going from here, or you yourself as a player going from here too?
I mean, as a player, there's still matchups I need to work on. Like, let's say when I played Anti in Winners Round 4, and he's the one who sent me to Losers, because I know, Will, you were wondering before. And I don't get a lot of practice in those matchups, mainly because wherever I go to practice, it's a lot of Marth and Meta Knight and not really Falco and Diddy. There aren't even many Diddies to practice against in the first place. So it's hard to practice those matchups. And so most of the times when I play it, I'm just sort of trying to figure it out as I'm playing to see what works and like what my general options are. And Falco I have a little bit more experience in, but I don't get enough practice in it because Yoshi has a chain grab on it, but it's pretty like frame tight. And since I don't get enough practice in it and I don't actually practice it enough on my own, I was dropping it a lot. And I feel like it would have made a big difference against round 2 against Anti. Someone was telling me...
Did he go straight Diddy, or...?
He went Diddy game 1. I counterpicked Delfino so that if I were to grab him, because I felt like he wasn't going to like nanner lock me on the walk-offs, like just the way his Diddy was playing. And so I felt like the walk-offs there would give me the advantage for the chain grab. But he switched to Falco, and I don't know how Falco is on that stage exactly. I'd imagine it's not awful. I imagine it's a decent stage for him. And the matchup there is different than what I expected, and so I still had to try to figure that out. I mean, he probably had to figure that out too, because no one really plays Yoshi, but you know, he's still the better player than me, so I deserve the loss regardless. But so as a player, I still have to improve myself. For Yoshi, as far as Yoshi going, I can't see him going down. I can only see him going up. I mean, Yoshi's a flexible enough character where I feel like I can break matchups. Like Lucario used to be widely regarded as our worst matchup, and Wolf used to be widely regarded as awful too. And I looked at the matchups a lot, and I figured it out, and they're not so bad anymore. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard Yes joking around or whatever about Wolf Yoshi. And so pretty much I figured that out. I played him a lot, and I worked on it and I figured it out. Same with Lucario. It's like Lucario, we used to think it was no options because we couldn't get in or whatever, or we couldn't juggle or kill him or whatever. And then I figured out I got better at the matchup, and there are ways to edge guard him or whatever so that we can get the kills. So it's not like we can't kill him. That's been the main problem in the matchup, because without a shield, we can't punish down air, and two of our most reliable kill moves, up air and up smash, get stuffed by down air, which was the problem with the matchup. But I mean, they're still bad matchups. They're nowhere near in our favor, but they are much less bad than they had been. And the same could go for a lot of Yoshi's matchups. We're still figuring things out on them. Recently, there was a development on the Ness matchup, which isn't entirely tournament important. Shout outs to all the Ness mains out there, by the way. I love your character. I used to main him. And you can egg lay him out of his air release animation, which we always do, and it pulls him back at you, and you can combo out of it. I mean, this was just found out. Yoshi still has some weird things. I mean, I don't know how to find things out. I usually don't figure out neat little tricks like that. I pretty much just play to apply the things that I know about outside of DR because I'm extremely bad at it and I have no tech skill. If anyone watches my videos and there's like downtime, like on Pokemon Stadium, the stalling transformations, and you see me just like down airing, like short hop down airing for no reason, that's me trying to practice DR. Other other than that, I mean, Yoshi can definitely go places. I think Yoshi would definitely rise much faster if Meta Knight were banned, because usually, like when I attend locals, especially in this region, the tri-state area, I get like 25th, 17th very frequently because I run into our local Meta Knights so quickly. But like at KTAR, I didn't run into any Meta Knights, and I got 9th. Like Meta Knight is, I believe, the major thing holding Yoshi back, because any Meta Knight that knows what they're doing against Yoshi, it's hopeless. Gunblade, I love him and all, but I feel that I'm a much better player than him. I love him and everything, and he's not bad, but I feel like I'm a better player than him. But back at an event that I teamed with Allied at, it was way back then. I don't even remember the name of it, but I had to play him in winners or losers bracket. I don't remember exactly which part of the bracket it was, but it was like hopeless. I felt like I had no options to do because the way he plays the matchup, it just abuses Yoshi so well. There's no hope, and a lot of the Meta Knights here do that, and which is why I complain a lot to like a bunch of the other Meta Knight mains who go, "Oh no, the matchup's even. It's not that bad," because they don't know what they're doing.
I could probably imagine some of the things that he does, knowing Gunblade, because he's very good versus DK also, and he knows DK's options versus Tornado. So what he'll do is he'll bait the option that beats Tornado, and then he'll wait, go out, and come back in and punish what you tried to do.
It's just awful. Like he tornadoed me for days. It was I've never been so mad after a set. I think that was the only game that I have been so mad that I didn't say GG's, or like the only game like I lightly threw my controller at the floor. Like I was that mad. And I think that is the only game that I've actually like stormed off from. The only other time that I like left like a match setup without like saying GG's or whatever was Apex against Kiwi, because I was so scared that I wasn't gonna get out of pools. Like after the set was over and I had won, I sort of like I was so stunned and like shocked or whatever, I just sort of left. And I found out about that later because apparently like Kiwi, I heard from another Yoshi that Kiwi was upset that I didn't say GG's, like she thought I was mad at her or something. And so I went and fixed that because, you know, it was a really close set. I enjoyed the set, but I was scared and I wasn't thinking at the end of it. But that set, I stormed from the venue and I didn't come back for like 20 minutes. I was gone. Like,
speaking of storming from the venue, my boy the Puffster.
That's not something I'd rather talk about. It's sort of it's sort of sensitive with him, and I respect. Is it really? That. Yeah, it's like I respect that. Like I don't want to dig that up.
Well, that's just part of Delta's playstyle, though. Everybody knows about your playstyle. We should talk about the Super Ganon challenge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's finish this off with a Super Ganon challenge. I watched that and I remember walking over and like 75 meters. Like okay, this seems a little hype here. And then like you were like it seemed like you lived on that stage because you just knew like exactly what to do. It's just like 3 Ganons are sort of like destroying you a little bit, but you were holding your own.
Oh, there was like a good like 3 or 4 minutes where like he wasn't getting hit by the Ganons.
That's what I'm saying. Like you were just like flying everywhere.
Yeah, but the problem with that was that I wasn't doing enough damage to the Ganons. Like the problem with my strategy was that Yoshi didn't have any spike or whatever to kill the Ganons that were chasing me. Like fast and reliable enough, because I was running out of time. I think I lost my last stock with like 1:30 left on the clock, and there were still like one Ganon still had 2 stocks, and it was a mess. I wouldn't have won that challenge. It was close, but I feel like if I had gone Ness on the other hand, I would have lost some of my like swooping around mobility, but I would have definitely gained the easy spikes for the kills.
Yeah, I heard they walked away with a good sum of money from that.
I believe it. I mean, it was completely hype. I would love to see that at more events and like take part as one of the Ganons, because I think my Ganon is pretty decent. But I don't think I would love to take part in it. But Yeah, it was fun. That should be like run at a lot more events.
Yeah, people were
because
saying that it should be on like the live stream in between like
It-
matches when nothing else is going on or something. Like
It
it would
really
be a good
should.
idea. It's really entertaining.
it's
It is.
entertaining. It's different. It's still using your normal Brawl engine, but it's different and it's something you don't see every day. And it's awesome because I mean sometimes you'll see like the non-Ganon doing some really lame stuff, but then when the 3 Ganons get you, it's just so many amazing things happen.
Oh,
my
it's-
god, it's complete.
I do remember even back at like COT 4, like that was before the Ganon challenge, and they were doing Bowser challenges,
Oh
and,
yes.
and they had like Ninja Link, DJ Nintendo, and Vex
Oh.
against like somebody, and it was just miraculous things happened. It was like side B,
So
side
great.
Bs into side Bs into, oh my god, it was
Well, with that, we want to thank you, Delta, for joining us here tonight on DI. Awesome stuff at KTAR, and your Yoshi is sort of awesome.
Thanks. Your
Just a little.
DK is sort of awesome. Just a little.
So yeah, thanks for joining us, and hopefully your Yoshi does better than the curses that you seem to be falling into in 9th place.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
So that brings us to the end of DI episode 45. Thanks again to VBV for hosting the show for 45 episodes. That is a lot of episodes, by the way. 44 more than one, and other math equations. You can follow us on Twitter. VBV Rapture is mine. That's when I give updates. The Facebook group, you can always join it, which is hype because I also post on there. You can post and you do Facebook stuff, and it's always cool. Join that group. It's free to join. Though we made
social networking.
so do that social media. What's good? Also, all those Brawl, Smashboards, BBV, that's where we post the show, obviously. Leave us your feedback. Do that. We love it. Tell us what we got to do, what we do better, what we need to do better, etc., 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 etc. And also, shout-outs to Delta-Cod for joining us, Will and Matt for being on the show, Matt for actually being on the show and not, quote-unquote, sick. Shout-outs to the KTAR staff, including Keitaro, DM Brandon, whoever else ran it, I don't remember, VG
Bootcamp for that setup.
VG Bootcamp for that.
Zant for that recording setup.
Yeah, for that. That definitely awesome recording setup, though I don't approve of the My Little Pony background on this computer, but that's okay. Whatever floats your boat, dude. But also some stuff from him. He was pretty cool. I talked to him. And everyone who commentated with me, especially EE. Gunblade also. Mad hype commentary with him and others like Apostle, Doom, and Logic, and all that good stuff. Also, shout-outs to the people who provided food the entire day at the venue, like hot dogs and pizza. And those like ice cream, like those like ice pop things, those are hype.
That fruit letting me be a true Yoshi main.
Yep, definitely.
Yo, shout outs to my nigga Xax, who's putting in work. Putting in work against Fatal. Like, he had the control on that set, and then the momentum shifted when Fatal spot dodged 4 times in a row into forward tilt, and then
spot dodge
it's
is
the best option. It really is.
People don't know about spot dodge. Like, that spot dodge combo, like, fucks with everybody. So anyway, thanks for listening. We don't know what's going on with the next DI because I will be officially heading to college next Sunday. So this is the last DI episode ever. No, this is the last DI episode before I officially attend college, and then I will die of alcoholic poisoning and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
LOL, JK.
This is why I should move into your college with you and be like the person just like following around, making sure you don't die.
Your
And,
conscience.
at the same time, you could also get in Smash practice that you fear that you'll be lacking.
You should. Yeah, I made sure that everybody knows, like, I'm definitely going to try and play more and hopefully attend tournaments. I won't be attending them as much as I did this summer, which was hype. But I will be at, like, Concentrate. I think that's the next one I'm going to plan on going to because it's pretty close to my college. And that's hosted by 100% Juice, of course, so hit that tournament up. But yeah, so shout-outs to everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll give you guys updates on what's going on with DI in terms of... I'm pretty sure everything's going to be exactly the same because I'm a boss, and I'll make sure that DI comes out as regularly as possible, as it always does. So once again, thanks to everybody who joined us. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next episode. So signing out this week is us. Thanks for listening. See ya. Bye. Peace.